Hello, you've caught me starting another Friday feature, a list video where I talk about 7 things in games that ideally we've already got capture of in our archive. I've got all my favourite topics hotkeyed, so let's begin. Button prompts have been on my mind a lot recently, perhaps because for some reason I increasingly seem to be pressing them to do some pretty out there stuff. I was reminded the other week about furiously pressing cross, to squeeze out poop in South Park, the Stick of Truth. Poop you can then throw at your enemies. I mean, obviously, what else is it for? Or pressing up on the right stick to fart, also in South Park, like that needed saying.
Hey, nice.
I mean, can you imagine if you could just fart on command in other games? Can you imagine what that would sound like? You're expecting us to edit fart noises over loads of really respectable game characters now, aren't you? Come on, grow up! We're the official YouTube channel of PlayStation UK, and that would be really childish. What we are going to do is discuss 7 amazing video game button prompts that are so special you only get to press them once. Here we go. Honestly, no, we're not putting fart noises in.
I'm just glad you made it out okay.
Okay, first up, ever wondered why whenever someone dies on a live stream, the chat instantly explodes into a shower of Fs? I mean, probably not. Even your grandparents have heard of the now ubiquitous press F to pay respects meme, which of course, for those of us who speak PS4, translates to press square to pay respects, a button prompt found early on in 2014's Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. In the very first mission, your best friend Will heroically sacrifices himself after really very quickly coming to terms with the fact his arm is now pinned to an explosive device through a quirk of bad luck, sliding from, "Oh no, I'm about to die!"
Oh shit. Damn, I think my arm's broke.
to, "Oh well, I guess I'll see you in heaven, mate."
It's okay. I'll see you on the other side.
In a matter of seconds. I mean, damn it, Will. Surely you knew the first rule of first-person shooters is don't go near those flying things with the double rotor blades, because they always either blow up or get shot down. Or both. Troy Baker then does what Troy Baker does best and somehow manages to sound sad and sexy all at once.
Why is one man spared while another taken?
Before you're thrust back into the shoes of Mitchell during Will's funeral. It's a somber scene, unexpectedly seasoned with a jolt of poignant interactivity. Press square to pay respects. Or press square to look at this exquisitely rendered mahogany coffin lid we spent ages making look really, really good. And the meme was born. Mock it if you will, but at the time I found it oddly refreshing to press square in a shooting game and have something happen that wasn't putting more bullets in a gun. See you on the other side, Will. The thing I like most about our second entry from Batman Arkham Knight is that not only is it an amazing button prompt, press L1 to even the odds, it also builds Batman's character. It plays into the Arkham game's shtick of making you feel like an invincible, righteous badass. The ultimate example of that thing Rocksteady's trilogy does so well, taking simple button inputs and translating them into spectacular on-screen action. You know, you press square a bunch of times and Batman does this. Press triangle at the correct time and he doesn't just counter enemies, he shatters every atom in their arm. And so this button prompt is like a thump of triumph after everything that's come before. You've saved a police officer, zipped away from this armoured truck at the very last moment. Gotham is overrun.
The city's overrun. We don't stand a chance.
Stay here. I'll send someone to pick you up.
What are you doing?
Evening the odds.
It's not L1 to cool the Batmobile, it's L1 to even the odds. We're not entirely sure what it means at this point, but press it and I think it's safe to say no single tap of a shoulder button has ever produced a sequence as glorious as this. To be honest, I'm not sure these odds are particularly even. Press L1 to dramatically tip the odds in your favour because your Batman would probably be a more apt button prompt. Next up, it's Talion from Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor, a ranger who immediately shows you how heroic he is by beating up his son and sneaking up on his wife. This dramatic intro sequence shifts between defending your home from Uruk attack and battle tutorials with your family with the speed and grace of Legolas surfing down an Oliphaunt trunk. You're shown how to block, strike and parry by having Talion bully his son.
Dear Heil, the mighty chicken killer. Come on. Come on.
Before instantly putting those skills to more fatal use against the orcish invaders.
I'll have your guts.
Then comes the stealth tutorial. We briefly flip back to pre-death happy times and you've got to hold R2 for stealth, which as always means walking but knelt down. And then, here it comes, press square to kiss your wife. I don't know why you can only do this from a crouched stealth position. Whatever works for you, I guess. But there you go. You didn't see me coming, did you? I've got you some flowers. Mwah! Anyway, then it's back to dark on fire bad times. The S's turn to L's and it's no longer press square to kiss, but press square to kill. Stabbily in the face. Mwah! 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 Next stop on the Meme Express, press X to...
Jason!
This iconic sequence from Heavy Rain perfectly captures the stomach-lurching panic of losing your child in a busy public space. Everything blurs. You're pumped full of adrenaline to the point you could probably outrun a cheetah. Your eyes dart everywhere and your thumb mashes the X button.
Jason! 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 Jason!
Look, I know this list is about button prompts you can only press once and,
Jason! 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 Jason!
You press this one a few times, but come on, this has to make the list. It's one of the all-time greats. If there was a button prompt Hall of Fame, press X to Jason would be the first inductee. The frantic helplessness of it. You know, it's not press X to save Jason, it's press X to scream it desperately at every poor child and red balloon in the shopping mall. Because, spoilers for Heavy Rain right now, press mute to not be spoiled, you can't save Jason. No matter how many times you shout, he never answers. He just, for some inexplicable reason, wanders right into the middle of a busy road and is tragically killed by a car. Put down your controller to weep silently. Entry 5 has to be the funniest prompt on this list. The start of Portal 2 is absolutely hilarious. Actually, the whole of Portal 2 is hilarious. It's one of the best written games of all time, in my humble opinion. But the opening especially so. You wake up in your room in the Aperture Science facility and are taken through some gentle tutorials presented as exercise drills by this friendly with a tinge of Orwellian menace disembodied AI.
When you hear the buzzer, look up at the ceiling. Good. You will hear a buzzer. When you hear the buzzer, look down at the floor. Good.
So far so good, we're pressing the thing and getting the correct result. Unless you play inverted, but that's your problem, boo hiss. Anyway, we then wake up sometime later, a considerable number of years, judging by the fact the room now looks like something from Resident Evil 7, and things quickly go from untidy to actively falling to bits. Get the hell out of there. Wheatley appears and asks you to respond. Press X to speak. Oh my goodness, you might be thinking at this point. Are we finally going to hear Chell's voice?
Okay, what you're doing there is jumping. You just jumped.
I don't know why this is so funny, but I was on the floor when I first played through this. It's so clever, so playful, simultaneously a cruel tease that we might hear Chell's voice and a knowing nudge in Videogames' collective ribs. X is jump, it's always jump, and you will jump all the time regardless of whether or not it makes sense for you to do so. Press X to speak. Portal 2. What are you like? Acerous Wrath is next, with a button prompt and ensuing boss fight that's about as dramatically anime as it's possible to get. This is the end game, by the way, so if you want to avoid Acerous Wrath spoilers, then skip this bit. So Acerous there, with his 6 arms and his super strength, staring down Chakravartin, being so cosmically powerful their age is listed on the Acerous Wrath fan wiki as simply pre-existed. Occupation, sustainer and ruler of the universe. I mean, Chakravartin is looking pretty good for an Infinity 6-year-old. I mean, they could be Infinity 7 or 8, but I always go lower when guessing ages just to be safe, and extends their hand to Asura, promising our demigod protagonist the whole of Gaia if he accepts. The button prompt appears. Press circle to extend arm. Asura takes some time to think it over, presumably weighing up the consequences of taking on the god of all creation in a fist fight, and so you press the button. Oh, CEO of all space and time, but you didn't CEE that coming, did you? Sorry. There then follows the most epic of epic final bosses against the god of all gods, and of course you win with another button prompt. Press circle to end it. Now, Chakravartin is the source of all mantra, essentially the divine fuel Asura needs to just exist. And so, this is a heavy press of circle. You're not just ending Chakravartin, you're ending yourself. But it's worth it, though, for this. Literally punching the final boss's face clean off. Final entry, How to Parent Your Child by Heihachi Mishima. In our second entry this week to feature tutorial by pummeling your own son, Tekken 7 Story Mode with Heihachi has you doing basic sparring practice by booting young Kazuya in the face. Is it any wonder he turned out the way he did? Anyway, after you've given him what for, Heihachi begins the honoured Mishima family tradition of chucking relatives off high places. Only this time, you get to actually do the chucking. That's right, press triangle and square to officially throw Kazuya off. I like the attention to detail here. It's not just press X or circle or square, it's triangle and square, the actual button combination used for a basic throw in Tekken. Press it and off you go, Kazuya, and so begins the almost tennis-like rally of father and son chucking each other off high places. Glorious, a wonderful button prompt giving us additional insight into this most unique of father-son relationships. So there you go, 7 amazing button prompts you only get to press once. Can you think of any we've missed? Let us know in the comments, give this video a like if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell so you're always up to date with everything from the world of PlayStation. Thanks for watching, and see you next week for another Friday feature.
For the players.